He loved all his brothers, though they were, as elders can be, sometimes less than loving to him. He did imagine that he might do great deeds some day that would impress his father and his brothers, as any youth brought up on ideals of honor and courage might. But on the whole he did what he was bid day by day without complaints. So he took the gold, which he knew was not enough, and hoped to convince the evil king to free his brothers anyway. When he arrived at the evil king's palace and was announced, he was brought before the king, and there on one side were his brothers, half naked and bound in chains, gaunt, with the marks of ill treatment on them. Falk would have gone to them and embraced them, but the king prevented him, saying, "Have you brought the ransom?" "I have," Falk said. He could not bring himself to lie. "As much as my father could gather," he added. He handed over the bags of gold, and there before the king one of the king's men counted them out, lip curled scornfully that not all were the large gold pieces, but many were silver or even copper, and the count was short, as Falk knew it would be. 10 full gold pieces short.
"How dare you?" the wicked king said. "You waste my time with this. You have coins in your wallet, I dare say."
And Falk did, money to feed himself and his brothers on their way home. But at the king's wrath, and though he knew it would still be too little, he emptied wallet and pockets of everything he had, and stripped the birth ring from his finger, and the king's man counted this too. It was still short by 8 gold pieces and 2 silvers.
"You waste my time," the king said again. "If I were not a merciful man, I would imprison you as well and take this gold for my time you have wasted. But it is enough to ransom some of you. Choose who will go free."
"Let them go and take me," Falk said, looking at his brothers. He could not imagine going back to his father without all of them. He could not imagine leaving one behind.
"What? And then he will send another without the right ransom again, and I will have the feeding of you all that time."
"No," Falk said, though he felt the cruelty in that king's gaze, and knew that the feeding would be all too little if the king agreed. But he was young and thought he could endure it better than his brothers. "No, I will swear to serve you as you please for a term of years, a year for each, to make up the missing ransom for the one."
"And your own," the king said, stroking his beard. "A year for each is not enough."
Looking on Falk's youth, the king took pleasure in the thought of spoiling his life, and the joy of his brothers and father as well.
"I do not know what your work is worth, certainly not near 8 gold pieces a year. My serfs are not worth so much. Let me think. You are one of 7 brothers. 2 years for each of you. 14 years. Are you willing?"
"Yes," said Falk, though he felt a great hollow inside at the thought. How could that be fair, when 3 of his brothers had never been prisoners here? And could he survive 14 years of servitude under such a man? Yet other men did. Some were slaves for a lifetime. Surely he, a prince, bred and trained, could stand it if they could. "Free them," he said, as if the order were his to give. So there in the king's hall the king's men stripped Falk of his princely clothes and threw them to his brothers to wear, and he was put in chains and led away, not allowed even one parting embraces or touch of his brothers' hands. The youngest of those, who had been Falk's favourite, called out, "We will keep your place for you," and a guard hit him across the face. Then the brothers, afraid to curse the evil king for fear of what he would then do to Falk, took their leave and struggled home, hungry and exhausted, for they had no money. They had Falk's horse,